next guest, wait, now I've gotten confused. Our next, yes, no. Okay, so our next guest is Daniel. And Daniel, you are with San Bartolo, correct?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Okay,
Nailed
so
it,
San
Lou.
Bartolo, you've
What's
got
up,
an
Daniel?
Well, one more time, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Chava. Thank you, Ari, for creating such a beautiful space, and also at the same time for create this beautiful event. One more time, my name is Daniel. I am one of the founders of San Bartolo Mezcal Artisanal. It's a project my grandpa and myself we started evolving more than 7 years ago. It was really hard at the beginning to release a brand as a family brand, and also at the same time, San Bartolo mezcal is some mezcal that it comes from the Yautepec region, which
I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm gonna interrupt you. Like I've got a lot of questions.
yeah,
So
talk to
so
me,
you're
question
saying
me.
it was hard for you initially to own your own brand. What changed? What made it
Well,
possible for you to own the brand?
At the beginning, we had to debut the whole project. I'm a Mexican immigrant. I've been in New York for the last 14 years. When I moved to New York, I wasn't able to speak any English at all. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about importation, license, permits, and everything. So it was a process for me to first to learn just to speak English. Let's start from that, and
Wow.
then just start like learning about laws, regulation, permits, licensing, partnerships, and also like start creating the branding what it was born 5 years ago, a little by a little. And this church is an actually church from San Bartolo Yautepec. And yeah, it's in San Bartolo Yautepec. And I remember when I was a child and I used to go see my grandpa, and I used to see this church, this San Bartolo church. I was so amazed how beautiful, how fantastic, and all the art and culture that is around San Bartolo is such a magical place. And also the fact that this is the first time ever that the mezcal from San Bartolo Yautepec come outside of Mexico and it's been able to be sold is such a love of when people like from San Bartolo they seen their mezcal being able to sell outside of Mexico, and also at the same time it was hard because we had to go all the non-certification from the village because even Comercan, which is the mezcal regulator, they didn't even know about the village. So it just took us like around almost 2 years just to get the certification for the village because they
Wow.
wasn't even registered in the Comercan in the mezcal regulator. So it was really hard. Back in the time, it used to be just one phone on the village. So every time when I used to call my grandpa, everybody like they have like this just one phone with a speaker. So they just be like, Valentin Martinez, please come down in 10 minutes because your grandson is calling you. And then I had to call again. And there were times that it was like a heavy rain, it was really windy. Like we couldn't even communicate with the village because there wasn't electricity because it was like a storm with heavy rain. So there were like months that I couldn't communicate with my grandpa. So it was really hard to develop the project like together, and also at the same time, being able to get all the permits and licensing like under our name. I feel like it was one of the hardest things. And also at the same time, developing a business plan, our strategies, advertising, marketing, and also at the same time, keep working in New York, as a busboy, runner, bartender, everything that I can to still like raising the money to send it. We've been in New York now selling for almost a year. It's gonna be on April our first year.
Right on.
People from New York, thank you very much. You've been so supporting us. I love you. And also at the same time, like we've been shipping bottles around of the country because people are like calling us because they hear, oh yeah, we've been giving away. Just kidding. But anyway, like but also at the same time like it's really beautiful how it was something that it was from the scratch, that it was from San Bartolo, a village that nobody really know. Now we have a brand, now we have a mezcal that has been selling outside for Mexico, and it's been growing. And also at the same time, every time when we see the community of San Bartolo being proud for their mezcal being sold outside for Mexico, is such a beautiful feeling. But also at the same time, it's a community brand too, where more maestros mezcaleros and more maestras mezcaleras will enjoy San Bartolo to have different expressions and different type of agaves and different mezcales in the future for San Bartolo mezcal. Yeah.
Beautiful. So now I understand that it's not available in all markets. Is the plan to expand, or are you just going to focus on a handful of markets?
That's coming real soon. We're going to ramp up on San Bartolo very quickly, and coming to your distributor really soon.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed it because I was busy trying to alert all the people who were unable to get in, because apparently my max is 100, not 1,000. Sorry, people. So I missed. Did you mention, Danielle, if you use agaves other than espadín to
Well,
make expressions?
for now, we just use the espadín. We use a 8 years old espadín. But actually, I have a talk with my grandpa today about the rest of the agave. So we are coming out with Tobalá, Mexicano, Anchor whiskey. We're gonna make some blends in the future. Yes, but this is the beginning of everything. Mhm.
Okay, so cooking in a stone-lined earthen oven, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Buried for how many days? How many days do you cook?
Well, it's the 3 to 7 days. All depend of the weather. You know, like my grandpa, he like, there is time that actually sometimes it takes just 48 hours, which is beautiful. But it's all depend of
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
weather.
wait. Oh, okay. So it's not like he knows what's going on. He knows because of the time of year. It's not like he can see through the dirt. He's not opening it up and touching and then closing it again, right?
Well, one of the things that he told me, like he just go and smell. He just put and smell how did it smell by the days, and when the smell is to reach the smell that he loves, that richness is when he knows that he's ready.
Wait, so
That's how
he's he's brushing off a little spot, letting some air out, and he's smelling that,
yeah,
and then closing
yeah,
it up.
yeah. He smell it.
Oh
So it's really
man,
amazing. It's really amazing.
that's a new one to me. Is that new to you, Chava?
It is new to me, but it makes a lot of sense because it's like cooking.
I,
How many
I,
times do you use your nose to know if something's ready?
I don't.
Yes.
I just I burn things. It's okay. I don't care. Okay, so then you're milling it how?
Yeah, it's all depend of the water, but we mullet it with a tajona. We have our horse, which his name is Chingon. He's our horse, so he just goes around with the tajona. He's like, yeah, one of
Beautiful.
our strongest point of the company.
But you said like before you mentioned Chingon, you mentioned that depends on the time of year. I'm guessing that you were talking about how long it rests, the agave rests after you pull it out of the oven. Is that right?
How long? Well,
Yeah.
usually after we put it out, well, like when after they put it out of the oven, they just like start making the little bed around of the tajona, and it usually is like a
Oh.
couple hours after. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then you're fermenting open air wooden barrels
Yes.
and
Exactly.
and
And
distilling in wood-fired copper pot stills?
yes. Yes.
Refrescador? Not refrescador?
Well, no, we use we had the spiral and everything, but we use a copper for the distillation.
Not refrescador.
No refrescador.
Yeah, simple copper.
Gotcha. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I have no other further questions. He's your witness, Chava.
Yeah, no, but something that I really want to just maybe mark a little bit more about this is you guys, you know how we talk about innovation in other industries in the way that they made something that nobody else had done. And I think in their case, they created the conditions to make a certification for a town that had not been acknowledged by the certifying body that regulates mezcal. And I think that is so important because it's almost like recovering traditions and heritage that was not yet acknowledged by the organism that it's supposed to be finding that. You had to do their work. Instead of them finding you, you had to go and tell them, hey guys, you hadn't looked at us. You have to look at us.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, we got one more question here, and then we have to move aside because this guy named Arik is coming on to talk about something called Fidencio. But Daniel, can you give us an idea? Can you give us an idea what the price point is in the market for that beautiful bottle of Espadín?
Well, it all depends about the liquor store, but usually it goes from 25 to $40 to $40.
25 to $40. That's a
Yeah,
good
and also
price.
the same, and also something that I would like to mention that oral mezcales and oral batches are small batches. We produce from 7 to 1,000 liters, so we're still producing on the small on a small batch. And also at the same time, as I mentioned before, this is a project that we are involving also the rest of the community. So the future with San Bartolo is to have different mezcales from the community, and also at the same time, it's still on the artisanal side. Instead of doing a mass produce, it's much better to work and do a production as a community to create more artisanal mezcal instead of like just doing like, I don't know, 10,000 liters. Yeah.
Daniel, can you talk about the next producers that you have lined up for the project from the village? I'm happy to share my time.
What
Yes.
a guy.
Well, we have right now, we are talking with Maestra Mezcalera Margarita, who is my aunt. She's a Maestra Mezcalera also in San Bartolo, Yautepec. She's gonna enjoy the project also too. And also we're talking with, which is Alfredo Jimenez, which is another mezcal producer in San Bartolo. And there is another Maestros Mezcaleros that actually are working with my grandpa right now, because there is no like that much cash flow in the community. So we are working all together, and we are also about to certify their distilleries, their palenques, so we can also create more mezcal for the industry in our artisanal size.
And we got a comment from Eric Foster, who believes you should raise the price because it's an insanely amazing price point for mezcal of this quality. So there you go. Eric wants you to raise the price.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, no, this is wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And when is it going to come to California? I'm guessing you don't know yet.
Well, maybe next month is gonna be, yes. Yeah, we're already working on it. And actually I was in the West Coast last month. I was talking with different people over there, but yeah, we're gonna be in California in the next 2 months, the latest.
Beautiful. Okay, Daniel, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your wisdom, your beautiful community, and your wonderful mezcal.